What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Noah Gray here, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Josh's channel and check out showmefootball.com for more.
What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of showmefootball.com, covering your Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm here to break down the Chiefs' 28-21 loss on the road to the Buffalo Bills to fall to 5-4 on the regular season. Lots to discuss. We're going to be getting to all that and more right after this. Ladies and gentlemen of the Chiefs Kingdom, welcome back into another post-game breakdown here on the Show Me Football YouTube channel. Not going to be a fun one, but before we get into all the venting, I do kindly ask you all to please like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this, as that really helps me out. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well for future Chiefs content. But with all that out of the way, let's get into this breakdown. So, as you heard in the intro, the Kansas City Chiefs just fell to the Buffalo Bills 28-21 to fall to 5-4 on the season. Have the bye week coming up next, a much needed bye week for this team to figure some stuff out and maybe to pull off some trades because, guys, the Kansas City Chiefs are a bad football team right now. They still are. And I know when I say that, I'm going to receive some pushback, and there's going to be some people that hear that and they're going to be like, wait, what? Bad football team? Yeah, guys, bad football team. They still are. They're 5-4 right now through 9 weeks of the NFL season. If the season ended today, the Kansas City Chiefs would not be in the playoffs. Imagine if I told you before the season started that through 9 weeks of this season, the Chiefs would not be in the playoff picture. I mean, you saw the graphic on the broadcast. They're in the playoff hunt. 5-4. The losses have to stop, guys. They have to stop. More of these games have to be wins, or else the Kansas City Chiefs might not make the postseason. Now, if I had to put money down on a possibility today, I'd still bet that the Chiefs would make the postseason, especially because I think the AFC is still wide open. But the reality right now, guys, is that this team just isn't very good. And a lot of the same problems that they've had are getting exposed again once they go up against a good team, which they faced today in the Buffalo Bills. They faced a Buffalo Bills team that still has a lot of talent, even though they're down a lot of guys. They're hungry. It's an elite quarterback. And in my opinion, the Chiefs' problems got exposed against a real team. I mean, I do think the Chiefs have improved on a lot of things this year so far from the previous couple of years. You know, the ability to put away bad opponents. Obviously, I think the offense has improved from week to week, although it was a step back in this game. So, like, there's been some things that they've improved on. But when you go back to the things that we complained about this team early in the season, you know, the lack of pass rush, the lack of a running game, execution errors on offense, all that's still there. And all of that got exposed again today against the Buffalo Bills. And in my opinion, the Bills looked like they wanted it more than the Kansas City Chiefs. They wanted this game more. And honestly, I'm tired of losing to the Bills in the regular season. I know we turned it into this joke where, yeah, oh, it's the Buffalo Bills Super Bowl and they can have this one, but we'll get them in the postseason. Well, you got to make the postseason, man. And I'm tired of losing to the Bills. I am, honestly. Because you really needed this game. You really could not afford another loss before Thanksgiving. I said that earlier in the week. You could not afford another loss before Thanksgiving. Now you're sitting at 5-4. And in my opinion, after the bye week, you kind of have to run the table. And I guess I'll get to that a little bit more. I want to save that for a little bit later. I want to talk about specifics from this game before we get into some big picture takes from me. But the first thing that I wrote down is I think the offensive line just looked really weak in this game. Bills actually had a pass rush. Man, wouldn't that be nice if the Chiefs had something like that? But yeah, no, the offensive line looked shaky, and that ruined a lot of things early on and really throughout the game. The Chiefs offense couldn't get into rhythm really at any point, nothing consistent. Jalen Moore, you know, he's filled in admirably for Josh Simmons over the last several weeks, but it's getting to the point where you need your starting left tackle back. I mean, and I know Josh Simmons, that topic has become this thing where we're not allowed to ask questions or talk about it. But, man, our left tackle needs to get back in this thing. He needs to get back in the fold. They need him back. I understand he's dealing with personal issues. I get it. But, man, they need him back. And something's got to get figured out because I think Jalen Moore is kind of running out of juice there, and teams are starting to figure him out a little bit. Kingsley Suamataia got banged up at one point. They had to bring in Mike Caliendo. We know Trey Smith isn't at 100%. Jawan Taylor, he was getting beat up anyway, but then he got injured and he had to come out. Wanya Moore steps in. So this is really a patchwork offensive line right now. And because of that, the Chiefs weren't really able to get anything going either on the ground or in the air. I mean, Kareem Hunt had some success early on. He averaged 5 or 6 yards per carry in the first half, but after a while, the Bills were kind of able to shut it down and the Chiefs weren't getting as much push up front. But Mahomes looked uncomfortable too because of the pressure that was getting to him. You know, he just didn't really seem like he trusted his tackles. He has been a lot less comfortable with Jalen Moore out there instead of Josh Simmons. I think that's made a big difference. And there was quite a few times where, man, he's just scrambling, looking around for something. Probably should have let the ball go a little bit sooner, or wasn't able to, or just as indecisive. Man, the guy that really made this offensive line look like crap was Joey Bosa of the Buffalo Bills. I mean, he was wreaking havoc out there. And it really upsets me. It really upsets me because, man, I wish the Kansas City Chiefs this offseason went out and got a low-cost, high-reward defensive lineman that raised the ceiling significantly for a pass rush that we knew had a talent issue. And you know what kind of guy would have been perfect for that? Joey Bosa, who the Bills signed for less than $5 million, really. I mean, he was sitting right there in free agency. And you let him go to Buffalo, and he was a huge difference in this game. It's the moves that they make and the moves that you don't make. And that's one of the biggest things that I think has hurt this team this year because you have so many guys out there that just don't deserve to be playing. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Yeah, he only got 2 carries in this game, but the fact that he's getting carries at all in the year of 2025 is just pathetic. And I have been vindicated, and I want an apology from you guys because I made a video back when the Chiefs signed Clyde Edwards-Helaire to the practice squad, and I said, this is ridiculous. What are we doing? Like, he doesn't belong on an NFL roster. Why are we messing around with this? I hate this. And I was told by a bunch of Chiefs fans, why are you angry, Josh? It's a practice squad spot. He's the 6th running back. He's never going to play. Lo and behold, 9 weeks in, guess who's playing for the Kansas City Chiefs? Playing real snaps for the Kansas City Chiefs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and getting carries. And I don't want to hear anything from you guys because guess what? Clyde Edwards-Helaire came into this game, got a carry that went for negative yards, and it ended up killing the drive. Why are we messing around with this? The fact that he is still getting snaps at this stage signals to me that running back is still a massive need, and that's what the Chiefs need to be targeting at the trade deadline. Get a damn running back in here with some juice, with some explosiveness that keeps someone like CEH off the field. That's an upgrade over Isaiah Pacheco that actually provides explosive runs, unlike Kareem Hunt. And I love Kareem Hunt, but at a certain point, he just runs out of gas. And he's not an explosive runner. He's just not. I love him in short yardage. I love what he does in the red zone. He came up big today a couple times, but you need more. And we knew that. We knew that before the season. We knew that before the season that the Chiefs needed a running back. But for some reason, this front office just isn't taking it seriously, and it's kicking their ass. Because you look at Buffalo, and they have a pass rush, and they have a kick-ass running back. And that was the difference in this game. That's what carried them. They were able to get pressure on Mahomes, made him uncomfortable. The Chiefs were inefficient on 3rd down, 3 of 13 on 3rd down. That's not going to get it done. They were able to harass the quarterback, slow down the offense. And then when the Bills had the ball, you know, Josh Allen really didn't do all that well today. He didn't play that great of a game. But you know who did have a great game? James Cook. Because the Bills invested in the running back position, and Kansas City hasn't, and it is killing them. Same thing for the defensive line. It's the moves that you don't make that are killing you right now. I just think that Kansas City, offensively, they've made a lot of improvements this year. We have to give them credit for that. They're doing things that they haven't done in a long time. Rashee Rice has provided a boost. But another thing that I noticed today is that these receivers still struggle to beat man coverage consistently. And this was a Bills team that coming in, you thought, okay, they're missing a bunch of guys. Teron Johnson, one of their starting cornerbacks, ruled out before the game. They're already down a bunch of starting players on the defense. Ed Oliver, their star defensive tackle, tore his bicep, was out for this game. And the Chiefs looked like the ones that were missing a bunch of players. Like the Bills had no issues handling the Kansas City Chiefs. And a lot of it, I think, is because they still struggle to beat man coverage. And again, they don't have a consistent threat in the running game, so therefore the defense doesn't have to take it seriously. And so they're able to give the Chiefs passing offense a lot of problems. It's just got to get fixed. Defensively, the problems still lie within the defensive line mostly. And yeah, you can talk about the linebackers and how they struggled in coverage against the Bills tight ends. Absolutely, they did. But I mean, that's just kind of a given at this point with the linebackers. And also, the Bills just have a really good tight end room. But let's be real. The biggest issue is the Chiefs' inability to get to the quarterback still. I mean, Josh Allen has way too much time back there. The defensive line is the same thing I said for the offense and kind of goes into my rant about CEH being on this team. But like Derek Nottie, Mike Pennell, like you need help on the defensive line. Like this is no serious contending team has this as their defensive tackle rotation. And the edges aren't really getting enough pressure. George Karlaftis, where was he at? He gets a bunch of credit for putting up a bunch of pressures and sacks against crap tackles, crap teams. We needed him today. He did nothing. I'm sure PFF will make up some stat about how he had a bunch of invisible pressures today. I don't know. But, I mean, Derek Nottie, Mike Pennell, like these are cast-offs from other teams. These are not guys that are really on an NFL roster if it's not for Kansas City. Like Cincinnati wasn't playing Mike Pennell. He had been a healthy scratch. He requested his release. And I mean, look, he's an upgrade over Derek Nottie, so I was glad they brought him back for that reason. But that's an extremely low bar. You still need defensive line help badly. This was just an ugly game. It was a bad coaching game. I thought Andy Reid called a really bad game offensively. Just too many what the hell moments and screenplays that aren't getting converted because of execution errors. And man, the end of the first half sequence, I really felt like the Chiefs needed 7 there and they only came away with 3. Just ugly, ugly game. And it can't happen against a team like the Buffalo Bills if you want to come out on the winning end. And it's just really disappointing being 5-4. I mean, it's unacceptable for a team with the standards of the Kansas City Chiefs, for a team with championship aspirations like the Kansas City Chiefs. I do want to get into some big picture stuff because it's hard not to talk about that after a loss like this and what it really means for this team. But before I get to that, I do want to show you all a message from our partners on this channel. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check that out.
Injured in an accident? Hurt in a car wreck? Call Mike. At DM Law, every wrong must be made right. With over 50 years of combined legal experience and offices in Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Colorado, as well as millions of dollars recovered for their clients, DM Law has the in-depth knowledge and experience to take your personal injury case all the way through to trial. They also offer free consultations and work on a contingency fee basis, which means you don't pay unless they win your case. DM Law also offers a large support staff of investigators, case managers, medical record specialists, and more. When you choose their dedicated legal team, you can focus on recovery while they handle your case. When it comes to personal injury, they believe that every right deserves a fight. That's why they make it their mission to help their clients receive the compensation and justice they deserve. Remember, Mike's got this. The choice of a lawyer is an important one and should not be based solely on advertisements.
So there you guys have it. If you feel like you need compensation that you deserve for whatever it is you've been through, definitely go ahead and check my friends out over at DM Law. Link will be down in the description for that. So big picture stuff. Any hope of the 1 seed, I think, is gone in the AFC, which means you will be playing on Wild Card Weekend, which means you will have to play 3 playoff games before an eventual Super Bowl if that's what ends up happening. Right now, you have to fight to not be on the road for the entire postseason because that is extremely, extremely difficult. But that is the situation that the Kansas City Chiefs are facing, which is why I say I think you really need to run the table after the bye week. And luckily, the schedule does lighten up a little bit, so it makes something like that more possible. But man, you just cannot afford to mess around anymore. And Mahomes said it after, I think it was the Jaguars loss, that we've already lost too many games, and yet, you know, they go out there today, they look like crap. And like, I love Mahomes, I do, but like, I don't see like a fire from him. Like, man, I want to win this game. Like, we need to win this game. I'm going to make sure it happens. Like, get pissed off. Do something. Do something about this season. And it's not just him. I don't want to put all the blame on Mahomes. Like, he's playing at an MVP level for the most part. But like, man, Buffalo won in that game more today, and Kansas City didn't. And that's disturbing to me, considering that you were 5-3 coming into this game. Do something about this season, for the love of God. Bad news is that the AFC West is very close to being out of reach. We've all joked and pointed at others in the offseason, laughing at them, saying their predictions are stupid every time they pick anyone but KC to win the AFC West. And I actually had the feeling that the Broncos were going to win the AFC West this year. And I never said that actually on this channel, but that's kind of the vibe I've always gotten. I feel like they're a team that's rolling. And the biggest reason why I think they have a great shot at winning the AFC West is because they have an easy schedule. People will look at the Broncos and they'll say, well, yeah, but they've barely played anyone. They're skating by a lot of these teams that aren't very good. And yeah, that's true. But guess what? Their schedule is going to continue to be easy because they weren't great last year. And the Chiefs' schedule is a lot harder than the Denver Broncos. You have to sweep the season series with the Denver Broncos at the very least to even have a shot at winning the AFC West. It's quickly coming to a point where the Chiefs just are not going to be in that race. They got to do something about that quickly. The Kansas City Chiefs streak of winning the AFC West is in danger right now. It is in grave danger. And my last takeaway for this video, and one that I think needs to be the overwhelming sentiment heading into the bye week, is that Brett Veach needs to make some trades. I talked about the running back position. I talked about the defensive line. We've been on it for months, guys. I mean, really, literal months at this point. We've been on this. I was on it before the season. Go and get a defensive lineman that provides something. Pass rush, preferably, but really, even if you get a defensive tackle that can clog the middle, I mean, I'd be happy with that too. Or at least someone to give Chris Jones a breather, take some double teams off of him. And then also a running back that actually threatens the defense, because Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting snaps for this team, let's be real, you deserve to lose. If you're fielding Derek Nottie and Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Mike Pennell in 2025, you deserve to lose. I'm sorry. The Chiefs deserve to lose for letting this happen. You need a running back. You need a defensive lineman. I don't care about future draft picks, really, at this point. If it takes a third-round pick to go out and get Breece Hall, I don't care. I'm trading the third-round pick. I'd rather have Breece Hall on this team than an Ashton Gelati. Sorry, I would. I don't care about the draft pick. Go and fix this shit. For the love of God, fix it. Because this season, believe it or not, is hanging on by a thread right now. So that's my feeling. That's my take. Definitely want to hear from you guys down in the comments below what your thoughts are after the Chiefs fall to 5-4 on the season. Excuse me. This one was a doozy for sure. But yeah, I mean, I know I'm going to get some pushback. I know I'm going to get told I'm being too negative. I'm just looking at it how it is, guys. The Chiefs are 5-4 at the season ended today. They're not in the playoffs, and they have a lot of problems still. And they just got exposed and embarrassed by a real team in the Buffalo Bills in the AFC. So yeah, that's all I got for this one. I'll see you all in the next one. As always, go Chiefs.